The mansion's malevolence had been met with unwavering unity, a force more powerful than any haunting apparition. With the dawn of a new day, the mansion's hold began to falter. The friends emerged from the night's ordeal battered and scarred, but they were not broken. Their shared journey through the abyss had transformed them, forged in the crucible of their darkest fears. The mansion's malevolence had been met with unwavering unity, a force more powerful than any haunting apparition. As they stood amidst the mansion's shadows, a newfound strength pulsed through their veins. The journey was far from over, but they faced the challenges ahead with a resolve that had been tempered by the trials they had endured. Their bond had been tested and proven unbreakable, a testament to the indomitable spirit that resided within each of them. Part 5. Fraying Bonds. The mansion's sinister influence had seeped into every corner of their minds, corroding their once unbreakable bonds. What had brought them together now threatened to tear them apart. Suspicion festered like a disease, and the air was heavy with unspoken accusations. Lena's sketches, once a source of solace, became fuel for doubt. The twisted images she conjured to battle the mansion's horrors now sparked unease among her friends. Mark's paranoia resurfaced, and he eyed each member with a wary gaze, wondering if one of them had fallen victim to the mansion's manipulation. Sarah's skepticism had transformed into distrust, her eyes lingering on the others with a mixture of fear and suspicion. Alex's laughter had grown hollow, his attempts at humor met with tense silence. Jake's ears still echoed with the nightmarish wails, and he found himself recoiling from his friends, unable to shake the haunting voices that lingered in his mind. The mansion had achieved what it desired. Their unity had fractured, leaving them vulnerable and isolated. The trust they had once shared had been eroded by the relentless onslaught of fear and doubt. They were prisoners within the mansion's walls, both victims and pawns in its twisted game. As night fell once again, they huddled together in a room that had become both refuge and battleground. The flickering lantern light cast flickering shadows on their faces, their expressions a reflection of the turmoil within. The tension was palpable, an unspoken realization that their bond was hanging by a thread. Whispers filled the room, the same whispers that had plagued them since their arrival. Only now, the whispers carried an edge of malice, as if the mansion itself reveled in their discord. Accusations flew like poisoned arrows, and the friends turned on each other with a fervor that was born from desperation and fear. Lena's voice trembled as she accused Mark of hiding something, her eyes narrowing in suspicion. Mark's retort was laced with bitterness as he questioned the source of Lena's sketches, his gaze searing with accusation. Sarah's gaze shifted from one to another, her lips pressed into a thin line of distrust. Alex's attempts at levity were met with cold silence, his laughter falling on deaf ears. Jake's voice wavered as he recounted the chilling wails that had haunted his dreams, his gaze heavy with the weight of his own doubts. The room was a battleground of emotions, each member grappling with their own demons while casting suspicion on their friends. The mansion's whispers seemed to feed on their conflict, growing stronger with every bitter word. In the midst of the turmoil, Lena's sketchbook slipped from her trembling hands, its pages fluttering open to reveal the grotesque figures she had drawn to combat the mansion's horrors. As her friends gazed upon the twisted images, a realization dawned: the true enemy was not each other, but the malevolent force that sought to tear them apart. With a collective breath, the accusations halted, replaced by a shared understanding of the deception that had consumed them. The mansion's power lay not in its haunted corridors, but in the fear and doubt it had sown among them. Their unity was their greatest weapon, a force that could extinguish the mansion's influence. As dawn broke, the friends found themselves battered but resolute. Their bond, though frayed, had endured the onslaught of darkness. The mansion's grip had not broken them. It had forged them into something stronger. The path ahead remained treacherous, but they faced it together, armed with the knowledge that their strength lay in their unity. The mansion's malevolence had shattered their unity, leaving them vulnerable and isolated. Yet within the ruins of their fractured bonds, a glimmer of hope remained. With the dawn's first light, the friends gazed upon each other with wearied eyes. The mansion's relentless assault on their unity had left scars that ran deep, but their shared resolve burned brighter than ever. They knew that the key to breaking the mansion's curse lay within themselves, and they were prepared to face the darkness that awaited them. Part 6. Confronting the darkness. Desperation gripped the group as they searched for a way to escape the mansion's clutches. The diary's influence had twisted their thoughts and strained their bonds, leaving them at a crossroads of fear and uncertainty. The path ahead was fraught with danger, and the choices they made could seal their fate. Lena's trembling hands clutched the diary, its haunted words etched into her mind. The ritual described within its pages promised a chance at freedom, but at a harrowing cost, a sacrifice that would forever alter their lives. The mansion's malevolent presence seemed to whisper to them, urging them to give in to their fears and abandon their hopes. Mark's voice trembled as he voiced the unthinkable, the idea of making the sacrifice. His gaze darted between his friends, his face etched with a mixture of fear and resignation. Sarah's eyes welled with tears as she considered the weight of the decision. Torn between the desire to escape the mansion's clutches and the love she held for her friends. Alex's clenched fists mirrored the conflict within his heart, his loyalty to his friends warring with the dread that gnawed at him. Jake's expression was one of quiet determination, his gaze fixed on the diary as if it held the key to salvation. The room felt heavy with the weight of their choices, each heartbeat echoing the gravity of their situation. With a heavy sigh, Lena's voice broke the silence. She spoke of an alternative, a plan that required their unity, their determination to face the mansion's malevolence head-on. The ritual was a test, a reflection of the darkness that had consumed them. To break the curse, they had to confront their own fears and insecurities. Together, the friends exchanged glances, their faces illuminated by flickering lantern light. In each other's eyes, they saw the toll the mansion's influence had taken, the doubt, the paranoia, the rifts that had formed. But they also saw the strength that had carried them through the darkest hours, their unbreakable bond, forged in the crucible of their shared ordeal. As night fell, they gathered in a room that had become both sanctuary and battlefield. The diary lay open before them, its inked words a reminder of the choices they faced. Lena's trembling voice led them through the ritual, her words a rallying cry that defied the mansion's malevolence. Their unity served as a shield against the darkness that sought to tear them apart. With each step of the ritual, the mansion's presence grew more malevolent, its shadows twisting and writhing as if in protest. The air crackled with energy, charged with the echoes of their shared determination. Their minds and hearts entwined. They faced their fears, the grotesque figures, the accusing eyes, the haunting whispers. As the ritual reached its crescendo, a blinding light enveloped the room, banishing the mansion's shadows. Their combined strength surged through them, a force that pushed back the darkness and shattered its hold. The room trembled as the mansion's malevolence was cast aside, its power broken by the unbreakable bond of friendship. When the lights subsided, they found themselves standing amidst the debris of their victory. The mansion's influence had waned, and in its place was a newfound clarity. Their bonds had been tested and proven unbreakable. Forged in the crucible of fear and uncertainty, they had confronted the darkness that resided within themselves and emerged stronger for it. As dawn painted the sky with hues of gold and pink, the friends stood before the mansion's grand entrance. Its once imposing facade seemed to crumble, its malevolence a fading memory. The path ahead was uncertain, but they faced it, united, a testament to the power of friendship in the face of unimaginable horror. The mansion's final act loomed before them, a cataclysmic confrontation that would determine their fates. The rooms twisted into nightmarish landscapes, reality itself unraveling as the mansion's malevolence reached its peak. The air was thick with tension, charged with an energy that mirrored the storm that had first brought them to this place. The friends stood at the heart of the mansion, their lanterns casting wavering light on the distorted walls. Their reflections bore the scars of their journey, the fear, the doubt, the moments of unity that had carried them through. As they gazed at each other, they knew that they had become more than friends. They were survivors, bound by an experience that transcended the ordinary. With a deafening roar, the mansion seemed to collapse in on itself, walls shifting and warping in a symphony of chaos. The entity that had haunted its halls materialized before them, a maelstrom of darkness and malevolence. Its form shifted, a manifestation of their deepest fears and insecurities. Lena's hands shook. Her sketchbook clutched tightly, as if it were her lifeline. Mark's voice rang out, his determination cutting through the entity's deafening presence. Sarah's tears flowed freely, her heart laid bare as she confronted the darkness that had sought to tear them apart. Alex's defiant stance was a testament to his loyalty, a refusal to yield to the horrors that had plagued them. As the entity's tendrils lashed out, the friends fought back with an intensity born of desperation. Their unity had become their greatest weapon, an unbreakable shield against the entity's onslaught. Each step, each word, was a defiance against the malevolence that sought to consume them. The battle raged on, reality itself twisting and contorting in the wake of their struggle. Shadows danced and twisted, their movements a reflection of the turmoil within. The mansion's memories and secrets clashed in a spectacular display of light and darkness, a clash that held their fates in the balance. With every blow they struck, the entity's form wavered, its power weakening with each passing moment. Their shared determination fueled their resolve, a collective strength that pushed back against the very fabric of the mansion's existence. Lena's sketches became a conduit for their unity, each stroke of her pencil a declaration of their defiance. As the battle reached its climax, a final surge of energy pulsed through them. The mansion's malevolence was shattered, its grip on the world crumbling to dust. In a blinding flash, the entity's form disintegrated, leaving behind only the echoes of its defeat. The mansion trembled, its foundations shaking as if relieved of a burden that had plagued it for centuries. The rooms seemed to mend themselves, the twisted landscapes returning to their former glory. Light filtered through the stained glass windows, casting rainbows across the walls, a symbol of hope and renewal. The friends emerged from the mansion, their bodies battered and hearts weary, but victorious. They stood on the mansion steps, the sun breaking through the clouds as if celebrating their triumph. The horror that had once gripped the mansion's halls had been exorcised, replaced by a sense of closure and liberation. As they turned their backs on the mansion, they knew that they carried its memories with them, the fear, the despair, the unity that had seen them through. Their bond had been tested and forged in the crucible of the unknown, and they emerged from the ordeal, forever changed. They walked away from the ruins, scarred but alive, their shared journey forever etched into their hearts. The mansion remained behind them, a relic of their past, and a testament to their strength. As they walked into the light of a new day, they carried with them not only the memories of their harrowing experience, but also the knowledge that they had confronted the darkness and emerged as survivors, bound by a bond that could never be broken.